Yo, yo, yo! Yeah, I'm finally done procrastinating and I'm going to release the cube combiner now. Because, I was literally just procrastinating because I'm embarrassed for people to see my node setups, bro. Oh my gosh. Anyways, if you don't know what the cube combiner is, I'm gonna show you. Basically, it takes any mesh and it converts it into like a cubic mesh. As you can see, with the cube combiner off, it's just a normal mesh. But now with the cube combiner on, it creates these cube instances that re-replicate the mesh. The cool part is it preserves materials. It does its best to preserve materials. Obviously, a cube can only have one material, and that's what we were working off. Maybe in the future, I can allow a cube to have more than one material. So if you just do your best to color the same cube, it'll do its best to use a material that's like close to it. It's a bit finicky involving materials because ambiguous which material should this cube use. It's a bit hard when it has more than one material. But if you just work with it long enough, it'll decide the correct material to use. You could build some pretty cool structures with it. Pretty fun, pretty fun. For example, we can like do this. Build nice levels to export for stuff for game engines that only allow cubes, which they do exist. One of the ideas was for Politoria export, and that's kind of why I made it. But I got lazy and never made the Politoria export part. So, in the future, we may be getting an update that gives you Politoria export. I'm just quickly building with it to showcase some of the features. Pretty nice. Turns the model into cubes. So what are some other features that it has? First of all, I don't even remember the features, guys. First of all, it also works for planar meshes. As you can see, if we have a single plane like this, it's able to accurately convert it to cubes. Like that. It's made for quad-ish meshes. However, it can interpret other style of meshes in some extent. So like, let's see if I could subdivide. It won't totally fall apart, and it'll do its best to mesh that as a cube. So it can handle a good degree of tolerance. You have some ways of adjusting its algorithm with I'm pretty sure, let me think for a sec. I just need to showcase the scale options. Yeah, okay, I figured it out. So, if you do edge crease is what allows it to split up some of these edges, like that. So, by turning edge crease is Shift E to crease the edge, you're able to control a bit of the splitting algorithm to force it to split. And I'm just using the scale option to make it more obvious, the borders of the instance. I'm pretty sure we also have the bevel edge option, which I keep on forgetting where it is, which can control the orientation of the edge. Let me think of a good way to show when that's used. Let me see. Yeah, see. Let me just cliche. This is where it would be used. Let's say if it's going downward like this, it's doing it off this edge. That's the reason why it's keeping it's making a box with the slope of this specific edge. But if we used edge bevel weight, we could force it to be along this bottom edge, and you can make some pretty cool stuff with it. I'll see if I can open up some really cool projects I've made with this. Here's an example that I managed to find in the old remesher. As you can see, this is what the mesh looks like without your cube combiner, and this is what it looks like with the cube combiner. Pretty interesting geometry, like that. So it does a pretty good job at those. Yeah, I can't find the peak project I made with it. So whatever, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Anyways, the point is, it's you can create cubes, blah blah blah. If you click the realize instances button, it will be laggier, but it will allow this to be geometry. So you could just apply. Normally they will be using instancing, but now we have geometry. Realize instances does exactly what it says it does. Without this, I don't think you could physically apply this because it would be instance geometry, which is a lot cheaper. And finally, the minimum depth is a setting that just controls this. When it's unable to create a cube on a surface. If the surface is too complicated, it will just create like planes that are extruded like that. And minimum depth controls the depths of one of these planes and how they would look. So pretty cool stuff. You can go look through the project. It's on the GitHub link in the description. You'll get this exact file with this cool ass structure in the middle. Pretty cool stuff.